Hello and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. We are back here in the build world, Diseus as I call it. We're back in town. Now you may be wondering, what is there left to build in the town? Well, there's nothing really left to build in the town. But throughout building it, you guys may have noticed a few letters around the side. We got two D's on this side, there, and back there. We have over here a V. We have an F. We have an S. We have another F over here. And finally, along the back side, we should have a nice little R. Yep, there we go. So what do these letters stand for? Well, this whole city here, of course, has some outskirts to it. There's going to be a couple farms, a stables, a ranch, some docks, and what could the V be? The V is going to be sort of another district for all the poorer citizens in the town. They don't live inside the walls. I've been calling it the Vagrants District. And now you may be wondering, how are you going to build docks here? When there's like terrible landscape, it cuts off here, there's not even really a big lake or anything. Well, today's going to be a little bit of a different episode. We're going to cut on over to the program I use to terraform, and I'm going to show you guys how that works. It's still all Minecraft based. I think it works for a Minecraft Monday. But I want to kind of fly over and give you guys a before shot here. You have all the grassy plains there. Those might stay. Then you have that just messy terrain and messy terrain there. Let's see what we can do to change this. Before you get out of Minecraft and you open up this program, one thing you might want to do is click on your world here, click edit, and go ahead and optimize it. It's going to optimize it and make sure all the data is in the most recent game format. It will make it incompatible with older versions of the game, but it's going to work for this program now. So I do already have a backup of the world. Definitely you want to make backups before you do any of this, because anything can happen, and if you put a lot of time into your builds like I have, then it's going to be a little disappointing if it gets messed up, you know? Alright, so this is World Painter here, the program I use for all my terraforming and world creation needs for creative mode. It is made by an independent developer named Captain Chaos. You search up Minecraft World Painter, you'll likely find this online. I'm also going to include a link to it down in the description below. Let's get started here. We're going to want to go into File, Import New World from Minecraft Map. It's going to pull up this file here that has all your Minecraft saves in it. The only one we're interested in is Diseus Craft here. Let's open it up. Analyzing it, and we're going to want to mark chunks containing man-made blocks read only. So this is going to mean any chunk of the world that has something that I built in it, I can't accidentally edit it and ruin it. And you want to do that one and not the above ground, because if you do above ground, then you'll be editing the terrain under your builds as well, which will still kind of ruin them. You'll have to go back and fix stuff. So let's click OK. It's going to go ahead and import the world here. Alright, and we get this view here. It does show a lot of dirt here, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fine. We haven't gotten any error messages yet. So starting off, we need to go into edit. We're going to add, expand, remove tiles. So right here, we're just going to go ahead and highlight everything south of this square here and everything to the sides of it. Basically, I only want this square with the town showing at the moment. And that's going to get rid of all the default terrain. So click remove tiles, and now we only have the town square here. Now we're going to do the same thing. And we're gonna include a pretty sizable area up here to the north of it, and maybe a little bit on that side as well. We're gonna add tiles this time. Now that we've added it, it's all reset to the default terrain there, so we can go ahead and close that. Let's zoom out a little bit, scroll up, and this is what we're working with. So to start off, I want a massive lake here to the north of the town, and I want a river running off to the side here, kind of close to the town, but not too close, you know? So we're going to use this tool right here. This is going to raise or lower the terrain. I want to scroll out to make a big circle here. We're also going to go ahead and use the more solid circle. And we're just going to start, if you left click, it's going to raise it. You actually want to lower it. And there we go. We're getting some water in here. A little splotchy, but now we have a decent sized lake. I'm actually going to go back in with this circle. Kind of get a little bit more of it. Get as close to the town as we can. We can edit that in-game when we're actually building. Kind of round it off a little bit. I think actually should put some land back up here so the lake does have an edge to it. It's going to be our lake there. Now we need to do the river. And we're going to have the river shoot off probably about here. It's just going to go around. Probably down this way for now. Now, I probably made some of that too deep, but I feel like that's something I can do in-game and change. Now what we're going to want to do, one of these tools should smooth the terrain out. So now we're just going to go in, we're going to make this a big circle. We're going to start smoothing all of this out so it's not as blocky and it looks more natural. You can see here the deep part of our lake is going to be right here in the middle. If you look on the bottom, this is layer 26 of 319, so that's going to be a pretty deep lake. And I don't mind that because I do want to build something at the bottom of the lake at some point. Sure to get these areas as well. Maybe smooth out that little bump there. And definitely smooth out the river here. Go all the way through there. And I mean, it's not the prettiest thing, but I think it will serve for what we want to do in the game. So I think with that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to file, merge with Minecraft map. We're going to choose the same world that we got it from. And we're just going to merge. And it might take a while to merge, so... Oh, no, it's going decently fast. That's going to be pretty much everything we're doing in World Painter today. I might show a little bit of other stuff just to expand on the episode a little bit and show what all you can actually do with this. That's all we want to do with the world, though. I should I should have said it that way. After this is done merging, before we jump back in the map, I'll show you guys a few other things you can do. Alright, so now that that's all merged, let's just do some sandbox stuff. I'm not going to save any of these changes that I do, but some of the stuff, you can flood an area with lava. I could change that entire lake and river into a lava lake if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna, so I'm just going to change it back to water like that. You have all your basic paint tools, pretty much. You can draw stuff in with a pencil, you can spray paint, and you can fill with terrain. So say I want to fill this with the currently selected paint. So let's go in here. What do we want to fill this with? We want to make it nether-like. So let's just fill that in. And since this is water, this is sea level, and we chose land, it actually did the land instead. So I've turned all of this grass into nether-like terrain. Likewise, if I wanted to, I could turn it into mesa terrain, which looks terrible with the terrain map there. But you have all these different terrains you can do. You can do lava instead of terrain, but you notice that note there. You may want to use the lava tool instead, which is this one we did up there. But let's see, you can do that. Oh, it would help if I clicked on it, and it turns it all into lava. You can do pretty much anything, any terrain you want here. I just filled it all with water, so it's all flooded. But we don't want to do any of that, so we're going to undo all of those changes, so it's back to this. Other things you can do, you can go into biomes here, and you can change the actual biomes. So right now, these are plains biomes, and the river and lake actually count as ocean biomes. But let's say I want to turn this into the end biome. That is now overlaid with the end biome, and I'm not exactly sure what that would change. Honestly, I don't think it would give the particles or anything you see in the end make it look void-like. So that one might be a little bit of a waste, but say you don't want any rain in this area, just turn it all into a desert biome, and it will never rain in this area. So there's some useful stuff you can do with that. Let's change it all back to plains. It also changed the ocean there to plains. I don't know. Oh, that's because I'm still filling. It's okay. It's all sandbox. I'm not saving any of this anyway. Other stuff we can do if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Can dot some jungle stuff around. So I just turned all of this up on a jungle level. Actually don't know what I did there, if I'm being honest. I don't think that's what it did at all. I'm looking for... Let's see. Yeah, pine. It's because I'm filling here. But if I want to just pencil, I can pencil in some pine trees around here. I think that actually will add trees and make a forest here. So basically, all of this area is going to be jungle trees, and this area here is going to be pine trees. I can make it look swampy over here if I wanted to. And I could even change the caverns and caves and stuff if I wanted. I can make this all frosty to where it's kind of, sure, that'll be iced over right there. And this will be more snowy, I guess. You can change all of that you want through that. And yeah, what else can you do here? You can make jagged peaks and stuff, all these different biomes. I already showed that. Got your tools here. You can do global operations. So say I want to remove What do I want to do? I want to just fill with terrain type. Let's fill it all with red desert and just go. And that just changed everything to red desert. This is global stuff. It'll do it the entire map at once. You can also raise pyramids and stuff out of the ground. I think if you're doing that, I don't know why. Click to raise a pyramid. Oh, I think I see the tiny little dots there. If we zoom in, scroll over, yeah, you can see the tiny little dots where I'm raising pyramids. They must be pretty small pyramids. That's a rotated one. This is just a normal one here. Just throw them all over the place. If you want, you can also copy stuff if you really want to. So you can copy a selection here, and then you can move it and paste it somewhere else. You can change the spawn point. So say I want you to spawn in the middle of the ocean. You're going to spawn in the middle of the ocean. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with this program, and if I'm being honest, I don't use it to its full capacity, which is why I don't know how a lot of this stuff works. I know you can do some crazy things though, and if you're into creative builds and stuff, definitely give it a look. Another one I tried using, here you can use a sponge and just dry up all this water if you want, and you see it turns to red desert underneath because I changed all this to red desert. So that's pretty cool. Another program I tried using before was World Machine, but it turned out to be way too complicated for me. So doing this program works well because, as you can see, it's pretty easy to just do the basics and get what you want. Now, let's go ahead and jump in. You can also raise mountains and stuff out of the ground if you want, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and jump back into the game and see how our world turned out. Not this world, the first one. And we are back. As you can see, the town itself is fully intact. It looks like the F here got a little bit cut off by the terrain, which is a little weird because if the F went onto that chunk, then it shouldn't have changed that chunk at all, but I don't really mind. It's literally just like 5 blocks. And you can see some of the problems we ran into, but we can go ahead and fix those pretty easily. The first of which is we need to smooth around the edges around the town. That way they fit better with the pre-made chunks. So like, there's the water line right there. It stretches to the town, but you can see where all the new chunks were generated. It doesn't connect here. The other pretty obvious problem is it left all of these trees in the water. So that definitely needs to be fixed. It's very apparent in the river here. But if we go over to the part of the river that doesn't have trees in it, you can see it's actually a decent sized river. It's not too smooth on the edges, looks more natural. And it's not really too deep either. There's a lot of animals that probably just lost their homes and are stuck in the water now. But who gives a crap about them, right? If we go back over to the lake, you'll see that that isn't really too deep either. It's kind of hard to tell all the trees around, but if you go to the center, you can still see the bottom, which works perfectly. It looks like we have something down here that spawned. Oh yeah, just more trees. Looks like it was a dark oak mushroom biome. And since we didn't paint over the biomes in the original like merge, it did generate this whole side as a swamp biome, which just looks, I'm gonna be honest, it looks like there's a massive oil spill in our lake here, so we definitely want to change that. But now that we know what we messed up on, these are all easy fixes, so we can easily just reload this same exact map back into World Painter and fix it on a second go. Now, if it was a more major problem, I would suggest, honestly, deleting this map, loading your backup in, because you need to make backups, and then trying the edit all over again from the beginning. But we weren't that unfortunate. So, back into World Painter we go. And we return to World Painter. So, starting off, immediately I want to clean this up because it did kind of regenerate this bit here. It also did that, and I want to kind of square this off too. And it's just me doing my OCD stuff. So there should be an option here instead of actually going into the file thing. I can't actually find it. Add or remove tiles. There we go. That just automatically opens this up. So we are going to remove all of these. And we're just going to replace them here. Do all of these as well. We are going to, actually I kind of messed that up. Can I drop this off? I cannot. Well, what did that do there? Okay, now we can remove these. And then we can re-add them. Remove these as well. Go ahead and re-add them. And this is just going to help smooth out our world here. Clear selection. Didn't mean to do that one. And just trim off the side here so we can re-add it. Alright. Oh, looks like I missed a small chunk there. Let's go back in real quick. Like these 4 here, I think. Let's go ahead and do that and add. Okay, now it's all looking good. I'm not going to bother expanding the river at this point. We're going to leave it as is. But we're going to start working on fixing this stuff. The first thing we're going to fix is how it's not smoothed out here. Really easy. Just go ahead and get your smooth tool out. And just start going along the edges here. Not going to hit anything that's man-made because we have that read-only layer on there. You can see it's already sort of working. You can see the difference along the edges. The main problem is here by the water. We want to go over that a few times here. That's where our docks are going to be, and we want those to look as smooth and nice as possible. Alright, so that problem should all be taken care of. The next thing we gotta fix is the biome stuff. So we're gonna go into this biome tab here. We're gonna click ocean, and we're gonna go to our brush settings here, and we're gonna do only on water. So this is only gonna change the water biome here. But with that, we have no need to worry about it changing this. We can even hover over, and if you look down at the bottom, it says Auto Biome Plains. It's not changing this at all. And it's actually not changing this either. That would be because I still have the smooth tool. Okay. We just did the paint instead. Actually, we'll do the spray paint. And now that we're out of that, you can actually see like all the disgusting biomes everywhere, but we have this set on only water. And you see there, it's changing all the biome ocean down there. This is staying the same. There we go. Let's go ahead and move to this one. Now this whole section here is going to be purely an ocean biome. Go ahead and do this as well. And then I don't think there's a huge difference between ocean and river, but there is an option for a river biome. So we're just going to go down the river, change that as well. Just like that. And now, just so we have everything else uniform, we're going to do this except on water. We're going to change everything else to a plains biome. And that right there should fix our biome problem. Let's keep going along the edge here. We can go ahead and zoom out, cover more area. And don't forget this bit right here. Okay. So everything is either plains, ocean, or river. There is not a lake biome, sadly. But it shouldn't matter anyway. What is this up here? We have like tiny taiga biomes. We definitely need to change that. Only on water. There we go. Alright. So that dealt with that. Biomes are done. The town edges are smoothed out. Now, I believe the problem with the trees was when we merged the map. So we want to zoom in. We definitely want to make sure for this part that the entire town is read-only. And that's what these X's are. See the X's dotted everywhere else? Those are all trees. The program marks the trees as read-only, which is why it never got rid of them. So this time, when we merge with the map, I want to come down here, remove all trees and huge mushrooms. You hover over this, it says it removes all wood and leaf blocks, including man-made ones. But if you protect your builds with the read-only layer, which this is, then it should be fine. And if it's not, I think we can easily rebuild like the trees and wood stuff here. The main hit would be the garden flower embassy in this district here, but we can redo that. So we're going to go ahead and click all that. And while I'm at it, I'm going to fill in all the caves and other hollow spaces below ground, because we have no need for caves in this map. So let's go ahead and merge that. And I will see you guys back in the game to see if this fixed our problems. And we're back. So starting off, I want to show the good bits. The smoothing on this side of the town did work. Now the problem is when you're smoothing stuff out and it's at a higher height suddenly to a lower height, it's a little harder to smooth that out, which is why some of these edges didn't get smoothed out completely, but for the most part it's easily fixable. Like if I just run this line of dirt across here, you'll see that this side is pretty much perfect. Good, fine. Now, this side over here probably looks the worst because we have these higher hills over here before the cutoff. And honestly, since we are building like stuff around here, I might want to smooth out this terrain anyway in World Painter. But then if we come over here, it did hit this side pretty well too. This can easily be cleared out and fixed. And you'll take a look in here, all the trees and the buildings inside the town did survive the merge, so that's a plus. The only major problem I find is I did get a few errors after it merged for specific chunks. Now obviously it cleared out most of the trees, like a majority of them, but there are still some stragglers, and I'm assuming that's what happened with the merge errors. But this is way more manageable, honestly. Like, I can go through on some off time and just pick out the rest of this easily. The main issue with it, though, is where it removed trees in the river here, it left holes in the water. I mean, that's still easily fixable just like that, but there's so many holes that I have to go through and patch up because of that. So it's not a perfect program by any means of the word, but I don't know any easier way I would have added this massive lake in, and then this big river. I mean, obviously I could world edit, and that would be me going around for probably an hour or two, just using a wand to make a giant massive hole, and then just using the fill command to fill it all with water. And then I would have to go through with another wand and smooth it out on the bottom, which would probably take at least another hour. That you're talking 3 hours there. I've done all of this in probably about 1 hour. Now, it'll probably take another hour to just go around and fix things, but you can tell it's definitely working. And I think I'm gonna sit with this as a finalized product for this episode at least. Obviously, I'm gonna go around and fix stuff. But before we actually start building all this stuff, I'll probably also go into World Painter and smooth this out better for the Vagrants district. Definitely try and fix this smoothing here. And maybe a few other odds and ends. But for the most part, you guys saw it all. You guys saw the process. You guys saw the problems. And you guys saw the solution. So I'm going to consider this episode here a success and a good start to the next bit of building. We're going to work our way around the town. Get the entire outer town done. I think we're going to start with the docks, and the docks are pretty much going to span this entire wall here out to the lake. Oh. Hold on. Where's the biome? Where does it say what biome this is? Minecraft Swamp. So it didn't change this biome. Did it change any of the biomes? No, this is still a birch forest. It didn't change any of the biomes. Obviously, I'm gonna have to go into more research for that because I don't want this massive oil spill in my lake. I don't know how to fix it right now. I tried what I thought worked and it didn't. But at the beginning of the first build, I'll definitely have this fixed, and I'll explain to you guys how I did it, definitely. I didn't even notice that over there. I was too busy looking at the town and where all the trees were. It's just kind of on the edge over there. So it's a good thing I did notice. But anyways, we're going to start with the docks. They're going to span this entire length. Some of the build ideas I have, obviously some boats in the water. We're going to have probably another tavern, like on the waterfront, or an inn for people to stay at. There's going to be a few other shops, a fish place maybe, I don't know, a boat rental place, stuff like that. Maybe a storehouse for all the goods that come into the city. Then we're going to start working our way counterclockwise. We're going to come on over to the Vagrants District. Nothing too special here, just a few poorer, rundown houses, maybe a well and a few small gardens around it, so these people can have some joy in their lives. We're going to have a farm, probably one farmhouse, a few silos, and just a bunch of farmland over here. It might even connect up with the stables. Maybe the farm people own the stables. Who knows, but the stables are right here outside of what I'm going to call the main entrance to the city. And then you kind of stretch around this way. I'm going to have this farm here, same stuff, a house, some silos, a bunch of farmland. I don't know how much of this wall I want that to span though. So that's going to take some tinkering around with before we get it done. The ranch here is probably going to span all the way to the river there. I don't know how far that way. But this is going to be like, we have an entire military force for the city. This is going to be where they're like breeding military horses. They're doing cows and chickens. They're going to be a big part of the town's food supply. So this place needs to be big. It has to have a little bit of everything. Another house, a barn, some chicken coops, pig pens, plenty of space for the horses to run around and graze on, all that kind of stuff. And I think other than that, to cap off the city, we might have a lighthouse here at the entry into the riverway. Is this a river biome? No, this is not a river biome. Okay, so none of the biome stuff worked. And I'm going to have a path coming out of this gate through the ranch over to the river, and I'm going to build a nice bridge with a few little guard towers on it to show that, hey, this is the edge of the city. Once you cross this bridge, you're going to be in a little bit of a no man's land. I have big plans for this area, but I'm not going to get into that right now. For now, I think I'm going to go ahead and finish off this episode a little different. Looks like we did have some damage to the inner city. And it might honestly be because this was all natural stuff I put in here. I don't know. That's easily repairable. That's just a hedge maze. It might not come out exactly the same, but I can repair that. Did this path get damaged at all? No. Okay, so to-do list, fix the hedge maze, fix the smoothing, figure out a fix for the biomes there, and I think it'll all be ready for the first build. A little bit of a shorter episode today, but that's fine. The past few episodes before this with the mod stuff and everything have been a little bit longer than an hour, so I feel like it balances out. Thank you all for watching. If you have any tips on how to do some of this stuff in World Painter, definitely let me know, because obviously I don't use it all that often, so I don't know a lot of stuff about it. Or if you have any questions that I might know how to do, feel free to leave them in the comments. If I can answer them, I will. And then, yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. And I'll see you next time for the docks. Bye-bye.